Oh my gosh, I just got a notification that my bridesman joined my batch app.
Oh my gosh.
This has been months in the making.
That is
Thank
hysterical.
you, JP. JP is like the only one that gets mentioned in this podcast because we talk about like the non-traditional. I have
love
other
it.
bridesmaids too, but
Oh my gosh, but I mean, I had a bridesman as well.
Oh, you did?
Shout out to Alonzo. He is the most fabulous human.
Yes. Oh my
And oh my gosh,
gosh.
he had a hot pink glitter bow tie at the wedding. He was killing it.
I
oh
love
yeah.
it. Oh my
yeah.
God.
So
Okay, cool.
bridesmaids need the love too.
What's up, Bridal Babes? I hope you're ready to talk weddings with me on another episode of Bridal Buzz. Today, we have a special guest in the studio. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jimmi Valdez.
AKA Jimmi the Bride. If you're on TikTok, you've probably seen some of her videos. She got married
October 7th, 2022.
Yes. So super recently, and we're going to talk a little bit about her wedding, but we're going to also have her respond to some real stories, some real questions from you guys, and it's just going to be loads and loads of fun.
Oh,
so Fritz might stop in, the office dog, but we'll see.
I hope.
Literally prayers. Well, okay, then let's go ahead and get rapid fire into these wedding questions. I know we're going to have you and your husband in the studio. We're going to talk all about how you guys met, the proposal, all the details of the wedding planning, but I just want to have like a rapid fire session for the Bridal Babes to hear a little bit about who you are as a bride and like the decisions you made. So,
Okay, great.
okay, so we already covered your wedding date, October 7th.
Yes.
Husband's name?
JJ.
JJ and Jimmy, how cute.
Isn't he cute?
Yes, I
I'm
love
obsessed.
it. She's like, I planned that.
Obviously.
You're changing your last name?
I am. That was
Yes.
a hard decision for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and my maiden name was Nelson Reed. And
Okay.
it was actually both my parents, when they got married, decided we want to like combine them. Love that principle. But then I told my mom, I'm like, now I'm in a dilemma because when I have kids, I don't want to have 3 last names for
Yeah.
them. So I did decide. I thought Jimmi Valdez has a good ring to it.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I thought
cool.
I'll change it.
Yeah, that is a hard decision though. And like,
It was so much harder than I thought. Because, I mean, as a kid, you'd always picture your crush's name with their last name. And
Yeah.
it was so exciting.
Mrs. This. Yeah.
Yes. But then when you actually have, like, the ring on your finger and it becomes real, it's like, wait a minute. And it was kind of hard giving up that identity
Yes.
before the wedding.
Ugh.
But I will say, after, it is much easier than I thought.
Yeah.
And that has helped a lot. And my husband's been super supportive with it. My family was supportive of whatever I chose. So that
That's
helped a lot.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Traditional or non-traditional bride?
Oh, I would say I'm more non-traditional. I think I had definitely traditional aspects of my wedding, but I definitely found ways to make it non-traditional, and tradition wasn't as important to me in my wedding.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Natural or glam hair and makeup look?
Oh, glam all the
Glam,
way.
yes.
I mean, I'm in musical theater, so I was so used to the lights and the makeup, and I'm like, hey, it's my big day. I want to feel like special and pampered.
Yeah.
So let's just go for it. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. We have a lot of theater girls in the office. so-
Yes, theater.
Okay, did you do a first look?
No.
Okay.
We actually did a first touch. Yes.
cute.
It was the best because my husband, that was his one thing. Like, he is the chillest, calmest person ever. Said, do whatever you want with our wedding. I don't care. But that was his one thing, is he wanted to see me first when I was walking down the aisle. And I got married at Kendall Point, and there's this huge staircase.
Yes.
So I emerged on the top of it, and it was just like my fairy tale moment. But I still wanted that moment of connection with him and intimacy before the whole day started. And so it was kind of interesting because we did the first touch, and that was so incredible. We both were crying, laughing, highly recommend. But we kind of did a first touch before the first touch because the day of the wedding, probably around lunchtime, I was about to get my makeup done, and I was like I wasn't nervous like to marry him, but it was just all of these emotions came in that this is my day and this is happening, and it happened so fast.
Wow.
So many moments in the day I'm like, wait, slow down, I want to like enjoy this, and I was, but I just needed a moment of connection with him. And so my bridesmaids were amazing. I was like, I just need JJ. And he was steaming linens downstairs, running around like crazy, helping out with the day. But he ran up there. They all coordinated it. They're like, okay, don't look, don't do this. And he was right around the bridal suite. And there's a little picture of us like holding hands. And I just start crying. And it was exactly what I needed to get those like overwhelming emotions like out of the way and go on with the day.
Yeah, and just like be grounded with him.
Exactly. It was perfect.
I love that. Okay, so how many bridal party members did you guys have?
So we both had 7. So I had my maid and I had a matron of honor, so I had 2. Then I had my 4 bridesmaids and my bridesman. And then he had 1 best man and 6 groomsmen.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What was your theme? Like if you could put a word to it.
Okay, I had it. This is it. It's an elegant fall fairy tale.
Aww.
That was my whole goal. I mean, I grew up loving princesses, Disney.
Yeah.
So I played Cinderella a couple years ago, and so definitely Cinderella was a huge theme. Fall, obviously October, I had little pumpkins and elegance. I had to, so that was my theme.
I love that. Yeah, I can hear in your voice you would totally be a Cinderella. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I, however, was always casted as like the wicked witch or the evil stepmother. So
no. Oh my gosh.
It's just that's my like the sound of my voice.
You have a very powerful voice, and I admire that. Oh yeah,
I appreciate, but I can't be the princess. I just stop laughing at me, Brianna.
Oh my gosh.
What?
So funny.
You said it.
The texture of my voice.
No, it's just the way you were like, well, I was cast.
Must be nice.
Well, hey, for your upcoming wedding, you can be whatever you want that
Thank
day.
you.
So, yes.
Maybe the evil stepmother is also a princess.
Yes,
so.
yes, she is.
Okay. Okay, so what was your color scheme?
Ooh, great question. So this has been really popular this year. And so it's so funny because I picked it last year and I just love seeing it in all these weddings this year. And I call it like a cinnamon rose, but it's kind of like a mauve-y, darker pink. And it was so pretty. So we had that light pink, lots of silver accents with white, because of fall, little like orange and burgundy touches here and there. And so it was perfect.
Sounds warm and just romantic.
Yes, you nailed it. That's what I wanted.
Did you have a band or a DJ?
We had a DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What was the flavor of your cake?
So we actually had my husband's cousin make our cake.
Oh.
And so we got like really creative with it all, like in terms of what design we wanted, and she was able to like test it so many times. But what we did is we did like a white sponge cake, and then the filling was like a caramel. So it was so good.
Like a caramel, like the texture, or like a caramel buttercream?
Caramel buttercream.
Okay.
And so that was for us. And then we also had buntinis from Nothing Bundt Cakes.
Love it.
Oh, so good. And so we did pumpkin spice, white chocolate raspberry, and carrot cake. Yeah. So we did a little cute cake testing with them as well. And so I picked pumpkin spice for my hers flavor. JJ picked carrot cake for his, and then we did an ours, which was the white chocolate. Okay. So good. It's such a good hit because it's like people were dancing, and so they just could easily pick one up.
Yeah.
And then of course, like a more southern tradition is the groom's cake.
Yeah.
So JJ is a huge Naruto anime fan.
Love it.
So he had a Naruto cake, and it was all like strawberry flavored.
Oh my gosh, we're definitely gonna have to show pictures of that.
Oh, I'll send you all the pictures for sure. And it was hysterical because I mean, him and his friends, huge anime lovers, but I said a lot of the people at the wedding may not be familiar with what this cake is.
Who is this person or what is this? Yeah,
literally, because it was literally a giant orange cake with like the Naruto headband, which is like if you watch the show you get it, but I'm like I had no clue.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I was like, I mean, I'm huge in wedding DIY. Do you want me to make a sign explaining what this is and why you like it? And he got so serious and he's like, no, the real ones will know what this is, and they're the only ones that should know. I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
And they're the only ones that get a piece of this cake.
Yes. Okay. He's like, oh no, only the real ones know. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was a hit. Everyone it was like the Naruto cake. So I'm like, all right.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And people ate the groom's cake?
They so much more than I thought. I didn't really plan for it. I thought, okay, we'll just have this cake out because it was more of a last minute decision on whether or not he wanted it. Yeah. So I'm like, let's put a few plates, some like forks and knives, but almost all of it was gone, which was wild.
I'm impressed because that's my one fear of having a groom's cake is like the 2 weddings that my cousins have had in the last few years that I've seen a groom's cake doesn't get touched.
Yes.
And it's like that was like $600-$700 for that cake because it's so gorgeous. And then what do you do with it? So I'm glad people ate it.
Oh my gosh, yes. And our catering was great. They were able to put like each of us had a slice of cake from every little bit of it for our to-go box at the end of the night. So we got to try it too, and it was wonderful.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, well, that's it for my rapid.
Ooh.
Oh, actually, wait. I take that back. I'm so sorry,
I'm
Bridal
excited.
Babes.
An extra one, a bonus one.
2 more.
Great.
What was your favorite moment on your wedding day?
Oh my gosh. I'm getting chills now thinking about it. There were just so many. And that's the thing I found with my wedding day is that honestly, I feel like I blacked out except for these like special moments. And so, I mean, the ceremony, I had no idea how I would feel during it, but I just felt so like present. As soon as I saw him, just the world zoned out. So that was so special. Of course, like all the big highlights of getting to like dance with like my dad. I did a mother-daughter dance.
Oh, I love that.
It was so, oh my gosh. And it was a song that was playing when I was born. So
Wow.
we were just a puddle and just like, you know, that when you just can dance with your person and you're just jamming out, you don't care who's watching.
Yeah.
That's how that was.
Aww.
But I will say, I had a family dance too with I'm the oldest of 5.
Oh, wow.
So all of us got to do it. And we brought JJ in at the end. And oh, that was so special.
How young is the youngest in your...
He is 18. So getting an 18-year-old boy to accept doing a flash mob dance, my brothers are troopers. They both were like,
oh, that's
all right,
great.
we'll do it for you.
I love that.
But I will say, now looking back and reflecting, like, obviously there's so many moments I can say, but one that is, oh, I'm gonna cry, is so beyond special, was my maid of honor is my sister. Aww. And she's my best friend. And so she gave a maid of honor speech. And she's the funniest human in the world. And when we first started talking about wedding day and her speech, like she just turned 20. So she was nervous and didn't know how it was gonna go, but she talked about doing, musical theater,
Yes.
Hamilton. She said, okay, satisfied from that song at the very beginning. It's like a toast to the groom, a toast to the bride from your sister and this union. And so in my head, I thought, oh, like she'll tell the DJ to play it, kind of be like, all right, DJ, hit it, and then play that song. And so I gave her the DJ's information, everything. And we get to the end of her speech. Ooh, and she's not a crier, but she starts singing the song. Aww. And she loses it. Whew. And so for me, I just immediately just start hugging her. Aww. And then my mom says, sing it together. Aww. And to get to have that moment. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, for me, that's one of the most emotional moments of the day, to get to share that with her. And the song is just so special in that moment. And it was cute because we have so many theater people there. So they're all singing the backup vocals for us. But I'm like...
They're all harmonizing. Like
literally full harmony. All parts. Everyone was there. But that, for me, I have to say, takes the cake in that. Oh my gosh. It was just the most special moment. And to just, again, it was one of those things where it's just the two of us in this room. Yeah. And I've never seen her cry like that. And she started crying, she couldn't stop crying. And so that was, oh my God. That's the one that takes the cake.
We used to have tissues in the old studio, and I need to like write that down. We need tissues in here. We do have some napkins up there if you need some.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. I can't even like comment on that because I will get too emotional. But that makes me so happy that your sister did that for you too. Because like, is she a performer as well?
She is not. Which that made it even more special.
Like she did that for you.
Exactly. Like she faced her. Oh, you're gonna make me cry even more.
I can't.
But that's it. She faced her fears, and she's like, "This is a special moment, and I'm gonna do this for you." And then to get to do it together. Oh my gosh! Like that was one of the best moments.
If there's one thing that we all know and understand about weddings, it's that there's a lot to learn in not a lot of time. That's why I love Nicole Mara's jewelry and services. Working with gemologist Nikki at Nicole Mara is like taking the funnest crash course on gems and metals that you could ever have, all while shopping for your own jewelry. And Nikki is offering 10% off wedding bands when you mention Bridal Buzz during your consultation. Nikki has amazing band options that you can browse through on her website, NicoleMara.com, but you can also work with her to create something custom to your liking. Consultations are super easy to set up and are such an incredible way to get connected to the woman behind the brand who is potentially designing your band. How cool is that? So if you're looking for those timeless, unique wedding bands, make sure you head to NicoleMara.com today, schedule your consultation, and mention Bridal Buzz for 10% off of those bands. Again, mention Bridal Buzz for 10% off of those bands. Okay. On that note,
Yeah, recollect.
I have a couple of wedding stories I found on Reddit that I would love for you to just offer your feedback, give your reaction, and let's just see what we have in store.
I am here for it because if you watch my TikTok, I go all through like wedding tips and details of my wedding day, helping other brides. So I am ready to go.
Yes, we are ready for your expert input and hopefully some who knows what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this first story is from the wedding subreddit. The title is, "What's your funny or shocking wedding moment? My sister collapsed on my wife in the middle of the ceremony."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's just the title.
No.
So, my wife, female 24, and I, male 24, got married this last May. It was a fairly small wedding, 50 guests, at a venue in the South Wales countryside. We're both very social and knew that it was going to be a fun reunion for many of our friends, and that if anything were to happen that would cause a wince, it would likely to be in the evening once the drinks were flowing. I love cause a wince. I'm just like, that, yeah, South Wales.
Perfect.
The ceremony itself, we wanted to keep classy and traditional. The venue was a hotel that we stayed at the night before with most of our guests. Everyone had got to know each other the night before, so there was no need for introductions at the ceremony, and we hoped this would break the ice. My groomsmen, who were single, had roles in the ceremony, and the bridesmaids just had to accompany my wife. Now here's the funny part. When the ceremony was well underway, the legal parts were covered and we came to the vows. My best man and the maid of honor were holding on to the vows for us. The maid of honor was also my sister. When she saw my best man hand me my vows, she panicked because she realized she'd forgotten them.
Oh my gosh.
She spent the next few minutes in anticipation of not having them with no way to go get them or signal to my wife.
The panic.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I can't even imagine.
No.
When it came to my wife's turn, the registrar had her copy of the vows and handed them to her. My sister was so relieved that it must have triggered something in her that messed with her breathing in a way that she collapsed. She was sat directly behind my wife and proceeded to fall directly on her, landing on her train and almost knocking her down.
Oh my gosh.
This actually happened a few times when she was younger, and the best solution has always been to get her into fresh air and wait for her to wake up.
Oh my god.
That's terrifying.
That's awful.
My dad sprang into action and tried to lift her up, but isn't as young as he used to be and has multiple back injuries, so then he proceeded to also fall down.
This is a full-on spectacle at this point. Oh my gosh.
It's like the domino effect. Meanwhile, my wife is still unable to move because there's people on her train. I'm watching all this unfold in horror. Luckily, 2 of my groomsmen were close at hand and managed to carry my sister outside, and she quickly woke up, and she was very upset about the scene.
Oh.
It was a very hot day and the room was packed, so you can imagine this probably contributed towards her collapse. We reassured her it was okay and continued with the ceremony. Everything went smoothly, and luckily, wife and I tried to cheer her up afterwards.
Oh, like on your wedding day to try to cheer her up. Like, that's so sweet.
Like,
oh my
not your
gosh.
job, but very, very nice.
Exactly.
She was absolutely fine, and she was still able to sign as one of our witnesses.
Oh my god.
Why is that like the funniest part to me?
That is actually really funny.
He goes, "Sorry it's so long-winded, but this is my funny wedding moment. It was a bit chaotic on the day, but very funny to look back on. What's your funny wedding moment?" And then he adds an edit. Bonus content. Later in the day, a friend of mine from uni brought me a drink. I didn't think anything of it until I realized it contained almonds. I don't have a major allergy, but it always brings me up in a very red rash. Luckily, the photographers had finished up as it was late in the evening, so no photo evidence, but I had to reassure everyone I saw that it wasn't a big deal.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what drink has almonds and why would you serve that at your own wedding?
Exactly.
That's my only question.
Yes, you should be aware. Oh wow. That's
anyway,
interesting.
not to shame him on that, but like
Yes.
that's just crazy.
Yes, after like already what happened in the ceremony. Oh my gosh, my heart goes out to him.
They're like, who else is going to stop breathing today?
Literally.
So, I mean, that whole story is just crazy.
Yes.
I know my mom used to have a problem passing out when she was a kid.
Oh,
Like she would just like randomly pass out, and I guess it stems from like an anxiety thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I wonder what her situation is. Like if there's like a legit disorder that causes this to happen.
Yeah, or
that's
anything that
stressful.
could have like prevented it or anything.
Right. Like if there's a medication she could be on, or like a warning she could give people, like a little hand signal, like
I'm about
SOS.
to go down.
I'm about to go down. Help. So yeah, I guess it's more so a story. And then like, do you have any crazy things that happened at your wedding day?
Ooh, that is a great question. So there were definitely like little surprises. Now, luckily, nothing went like too awry or too crazy, which was amazing. I thank my wedding coordinator for that, and it's an essential on wedding day.
Yes.
But what was really cool is with our photographers, we were doing like a bridal party. Like it was a section of that when we're taking our pictures of our whole wedding party.
Okay.
And she has JJ and I kind of like step forward in front of everyone, and she talks to them, and we're like, okay, whatever. And cool. And so he lifts me up, and then all of a sudden they all tackle us. And oh my gosh, like it is hysterical. Like I was safe, didn't fall. Yeah, thankfully, you're like, where is this story going? Oh my gosh, but the facial reactions in these pictures are absolutely hysterical because his groomsmen are like going for it. They're determined. My face, I'm just like, what is happening? And I'm just like clinging to JJ for dear life. I'm like, I cannot die on this day. And then my bridesman, his face is hysterical because it just has a look of joy but concern the whole time. And he's like, don't step on her dress, don't step on her veil. Like I'd hold the cathedral veil. So that was so funny. Another funny moment of the day was obviously iconic. You have to have this playing at your wedding reception. It is the best thing ever. Dancing Queen by ABBA, obviously.
Why was that already playing in my head?
You know it. We're already on the same wavelength.
Yes, literally.
And so so that comes on, of course, and it's like everyone's pointing to me. That's one of the greatest moments of the day. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my day. It's my moment.
You can jive. Yeah.
Yes, like she's the girl. Like I'm like, yes,
I'm that girl. Yes, that's me.
Yes. And so that's all happening right now. Like there's a circle. I'm in the middle of it. Well, then my dear mother, love her to pieces. All of her best girlfriends from years are there at this wedding, and they love ABBA. So you see this main dance circle where I am, and you see my mother, and she's not cheering me on. Her and her girls are in it. They're just jamming, and I'm like, Mom, what?
I'm the dancing queen.
Yeah, not you guys. Yeah. She's like, well, ABBA played, and we just went for it. I was like, Mom,
something was triggered.
Exactly. So I was like, oh my gosh, it was so funny.
I love that. I think the craziest wedding story I have is when I was the maid of honor in a wedding, and one of the bridesmaids, who has since really like reeled it in on her drinking, but at the time she had a little bit too much fun at the reception. And we were doing the exit, getting our sparklers. Everyone's like, we'll call her
Amy.
Cassandra. Where's Cassandra?
Oh, I love Cassandra. Good vibes.
Amy, let's go with Amy. Where's Amy? We're like, I don't know, where's Amy? We're looking all around. Somebody opens up the door to their getaway car. Amy is sitting inside the getaway car.
No.
Yeah, Amy thinks that we're all leaving in the getaway car together for some reason or something.
No. Oh, no.
And we have to get Amy out of the car. Her now husband really helped in this. And I'm pretty sure she threw up on the bus on the way home. But luckily that was not on the venue's property, so nobody was like charged for that. I'm like, maybe they did have to pay for the transportation company to clean it. I'm not sure.
But at least they didn't have that venue charge.
Yeah, because guests throwing up at your venue is like an insane fee.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Wow, that's
we love her.
Wild.
Yeah, she just recently got married too.
Oh yes, that's so fun. Oh my gosh.
Congrats, Amy.
Yes, Amy.
Okay.
So funny.
Let's see if there's any good comments on here.
Yes.
Okay,
the comments are sometimes the best part.
Yeah, literally, because it's like, oh yes, you were thinking what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the top comment says, "Oh, your poor sister. LOL. I'm glad she's okay and that everyone can laugh about it, right?"
Yes.
Our funny wedding moment. So my husband is not generally a crier, but during our ceremony, he was practically bawling.
Aww.
Our officiant had been his youth pastor for years, and we knew him well. Anyway, my husband is standing there blubbering while our pastor is speaking, and finally the pastor pauses, wipes his eyes, and says, "Mr. Bebe, you've got to quit this." We all laughed, and my husband kept crying. LOL, it was so sweet. All of the men I love the most cried on my wedding day, and it was precious. My dad, my brother, my husband, my grandpa might even have been a bit misty.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Our officiant was a good family friend too.
Yeah.
And so I knew I was going to cry. I'm a sap. JJ knew he was going to cry. My mother is a sap. And so he's my mom's best friend.
Aww.
So he said, okay, I can't look at either you or JJ. I can't look at your mom. Who should I look at so I don't cry? And my youngest brother, the 18-year-old, is like the most stoic, chill dude ever. That he was like, I'll just stare at him. I was like, that's a solid plan.
He's like, I'm your rock.
Literally, he's like, I'm here.
I love that. Okay, moving on. Next Reddit post. This is also from the wedding subreddit.
Okay.
It is titled Post-Wedding Blues and Regrets. Please tell me I'm not alone in thinking my wedding was not the, quote, best day ever, like everyone claims it'll be. I got married earlier this month, and don't get me wrong, there are pieces of the day, like our first look, that I absolutely loved, but I don't really look back on that day with overall joy, more so anxiety than anything about I wish I would have spent more time with my now husband, danced more, gotten more photos with our dogs, and not been afraid of getting my dress dirty. Just tell me I'm not alone because I'm struggling hard, all caps. And I know my husband is sick of me venting about it.
Oh my gosh. That one hits home for sure because that's something that not a lot of people talk about are these post-wedding blues.
Yeah.
And not only like I initially thought of the post-wedding blues, I thought, oh, I'll just be crying all the time. No, it's like different stages of grief in a sense. I mean, the anxiety was such a huge thing for me. And so that was something that was very overwhelming. And even to this day, like it takes some time for sure. And so that was something I really wanted to touch on my wedding TikTok was it's okay to feel this way.
Yeah.
It's completely normal because you put months, if not years, into this day. Of course, you want it to be the best that it can be.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are moments with mine too, and like little things in my head where I was like, well, what about this? And like, oh, the music started too early for this, or what about that? But one of my bridesmaids gave me great advice, and that day played out how it was supposed to.
Yeah.
There was nothing that you could have done that would have changed it, and that's okay because it was exactly how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So that helped me a lot, but I completely get the anxiety of it all, and what has helped me a lot is giving myself grace and comfort when that is happening. So I wear comfy clothes. I have like a comfort meal. JJ was great. He was fully prepared in what was going to happen. So we had lots of cuddle nights and just
self-care.
That's it. And to give yourself that, because you work yourself to the bone and are burnt out afterwards. So to just kind of take that pause, don't jump back into life too quickly. Take that time. I found was really helpful because it can be very consuming and hard to deal with for sure.
Yeah, and I think the post-wedding blues is definitely not like the sexy side of weddings, right?
Yes.
People, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here is bring these non-sexy moments of wedding planning and the wedding journey to light because we all do go through this. And I'm not ready for that. I'm like, I don't want to put anything on like, oh, what if this or that, it'll happen and how it happens will happen. But like, yeah, you're saying my friend got married this past summer and the next morning she immediately was like, can I talk to you? And I was like, yeah, what's wrong? And she's like, I know I shouldn't be feeling this right now, but like, I feel like my hair wasn't the way I wanted it to look. And like, I can't stop thinking about it. And she was like thinking about it during the whole reception, but didn't want it to like take away. I could cry like, cause I love her so much and she looked so beautiful, but it's like, there will always be one thing that could have been a little bit different, a little bit, I don't even want to say better because like you can't guarantee it was going to be better either way.
And that's it, because like for me there was like, well, what if I could squeeze in this picture, or like I wanted this, and it's like, well, no, if you had, then maybe it would have made it even late. And I mean, you guys know, like being in theater, a lot of times things can mess up in shows, but the audience has no idea.
Exactly. The show goes on.
Exactly. That's it. Honestly, theater can apply to so many things. I'm obsessed.
There's also a common idea post show blues in theater.
Yes, that is a real thing too.
Yes, and so when I learned about this concept, I was like, oh, it makes sense because whenever you have such a high going for so long for this one thing and then it's over.
And it happens so fast.
Exactly.
And I think too, so my bachelorette, my sister planned the entire thing. Like literally, I did not know what we were doing till we arrived at different places. And
I would literally throw up.
Oh my gosh, I was terrified. But what I did is I found a happy medium, because at first I said, do everything you want. And then I was like, wait, I actually really want to do this and I want to do that.
Yeah, I need to know where we're going.
Exactly. I was like, here's a list of what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so they just handled it. But to me, it was like the best trip of my life because I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what went wrong because I had no idea.
True.
Now with both my shower and my wedding, obviously I planned everything to a T. Like I had a huge hand in my shower. And so for both of those, like, yes, while they were amazing, I knew in the back of my head what went wrong. And like I said, it was little things like, you ask any of my guests, it's like, it was the best wedding ever. It was so fun. And it's like, that's great. But you always have that in your head. And what I kind of came to terms with was, for me, I find there's like versions of myself. And I felt like inside me, like wedding planning Jimmi was so anxious and really wanted this day to be everything that it could be that she put all this work into.
Yeah.
So it was really her like, hey, did we do it? Was it okay? Are you happy? And so what I did is just a lot of self-talk too, was being like, it was amazing and it's everything you could have wanted.
Your guests had such a great time. You married the person you love.
And that's at the end of the day the best. And I will say, I mean, I knew marriage would be good, but for me, oh my gosh, it exceeded every expectation. Like, it is the best. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Get married.
Get married. It's fun. But yeah, so what I found too that was so helpful to go through those post-wedding blues was to have videos immediately and photos. So highly recommend having a bridesmaid or someone close, like who's savvy with taking that kind of stuff. Just take videos and pictures of everything. Because then when I would be second guessing myself of, was I super happy the entire day as I should be? Which obviously you don't have to be. Most of my morning I was super chill and just relaxing. And then obviously you have the best time of your life. But that really helped to validate the feelings I was feeling and all of that, and to just get to relive the day. Because I'm like, okay, yes, I'm feeling these feelings now. I'm feeling these regrets, and I'm like all of these and second guessing everything. But even I'm 2 months now past my wedding, those are kind of fading, and the joyful moments are staying.
Yay.
So it's like, that's the biggest thing is, if you do experience them, I am sorry. I'm here for you, sending hugs, because it is so hard. You're not alone. And that's something I've shared a lot about. It's like kind of every stage of what it's like. And the things people don't talk about, like when we get home from your wedding, all of the decor and leftover alcohol, the suitcases, gifts, our house was an absolute mess. Oh my gosh. And so I shared that on my TikTok. And so many people are like, that's something that no one talks about is your home will be a mess. So I think if you can try, don't focus on it like you said and be like, the impending doom of when my wedding is over, but already have a plan in the back of your head of how will I comfort myself? How will I give myself this time after? I think that really helps a lot.
And like knowing yourself and knowing like I like comfy clothes when I'm not feeling my best. Like little things like that where you can, just provide what you need in those moments for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And even doing a bit of self-talk on wedding day too, and taking, oh my gosh, put moments into your day, like plan those moments out so that way you don't have any regrets or anything. Like my bridesmaid Alonzo saw that I was just overwhelmed with, I was like, okay, this day that I've been dreaming about for my entire life is here. How am I supposed to be feeling? What should this be? And instead, just be. He just held my hand, like rubbed my back and was like, you got this. Like this is your day. This is your moment. But like we had moments built in that I think helped so much in that. Because like I said, you black out and then there's these special moments and you are partying and having fun and then it's done. Yeah. So like we had a moment at the beginning of our ceremony where after my parents like gave I don't say gave me away because I chose this.
Walked you down the aisle.
Walked me down the aisle. But once I was with JJ, we had a moment where we got to turn around and we looked at everyone there, and our officiant had this little speech saying like, just take this moment in. This is the one time in your life all of your loved ones are here. And that's still ingrained in my head. And so like taking a moment to just, and if you, because I had those moments on my day of, is my lipstick okay? Like right after pictures, like I don't know. But I tell myself, it doesn't matter. You're here right now. Enjoy. Go to the people, like your coordinator will be your best friend on wedding day. My matron of honor was huge. Go to them and tell them your potential concerns, or just have a designated person, I would say, on your day that you can just talk to all the time. Be like, hey, I'm not happy about this, not happy about that. And I promise you, like, they can help cover that for you.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's a good one. I could go on and on about that. Oh my gosh.
And honestly, it is actually one of the most popular topics that we've covered on our podcast is post-wedding blues. We've had an episode in the past with Priscilla from Modern Wellness Counseling. Wow. But I think we should have another episode where we talk more about it and bring up these real stories and things like that with Priscilla. So
that's a great
Bridal Babes
idea.
Remind me. / Brianna also remind me. Okay. The top comment said, "Hi, yes, me too. Wedding was 2 weekends ago, and while I and all of our guests had a blast, I'm also struggling with the regrets of things I wish I would have done differently. For me, it feels more like FOMO than anxiety. Yep. Like I wish I would have made more of an effort to talk to all of our guests, and I wish I ate more of our amazing food, to name a few. I've gotten some advice to focus on a new, different project to fill the void or wedding planning being over. and to make a scrapbook notebook of memories from our wedding day with my new spouse. Staying with the feelings of regret and the woulda, coulda, shouldas won't make you feel any better about it.
Yes.
But holding on to the moments of joy will help. That's exactly what you just said.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Oh my gosh.
And OP comments, this makes me feel so much better. Crying face emoji.
See, because that's it. And I mean, I talked about this in that, like, I feel like wedding planning can be really isolating because it's this unique chapter that you're in. And I mean, you can tell your friends and family about it, but they're kind of annoyed when they're hearing you say it. They're like, okay, we love you, but stop talking about your wedding.
Or like they only want to talk about like the fun things about your wedding and not like
not what napkin colors you want. Like they're like, no, I don't care.
Like, but what drinks are we drinking?
Literally, it's like,
how long is the bar open?
Yes. So then you go through this isolating experience that everyone shares in this joyous moment, and then you're kind of isolated again in this post-wedding blues. So I think so many brides feel it, and just getting to talk about it and have these forums like this is so helpful.
Yeah. If there's one thing that's always made me nervous when thinking about becoming a bride, it's been the color of my teeth. I've never had the brightest or the whitest smile, so that's why I'm thanking God for Bridebrite. I just put in my order at bridebrite.co and was so excited to see that they actually had a couples kit available. So I have a Bridebrite kit and Jackson will have a groom's glow kit. And I can't wait to share our results with you guys after spending our 10 minutes for 10 days on working toward a brighter and whiter smile. So if you bridal babes out there also want brighter, whiter teeth, you can use code BUZZ for 40% off your online purchases. Yes, you heard that right. BUZZ for 40% off. All you need is that 10 minutes for 10 days for you to start seeing real results on your smile. I think something like this is so worth it for wedding season, especially since we spend so much on our photography and our videography. So why not have the best, brightest, whitest smile on your big day? I'm also really excited to try their Stay Bright on the Go wipes while I'm drinking red wine for 3 days straight on my bachelorette party. So I will definitely let you guys know how that keeps my smile brighter. And again, head to bridebrite.co and use the code BUZZ for 40% off of your purchase. Okay, so let's move on to a different topic. So this is true off my chest.
Okay.
This subreddit is basically a place to vent. It's a place to kind of just like put it out there because you don't really have other people you can talk about these things with. So they're not necessarily looking for advice or like asking a question, but they just need people to know.
Okay. Ooh, juicy.
Yeah. My mom didn't come to my wedding and our relationship will never be the same. The long and short of it is that my mom has been fighting with some of her own family members. She expected me not to invite or uninvite family that she didn't want to see at my wedding. We were at odds over it for roughly 2 weeks before the wedding, and I guess my mom thought I would bend the knee. I did not. That's good. I'm like, that's crazy that it was 2 weeks before the wedding and this is a conversation.
Oh, yeah. That there's already so many things going through your head. Like, whew.
Like you're waiting until now to tell me about a guest list situation?
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Anyway, back to the story. My significant other and I invited the people we wanted. I invited some family members she was fighting with, but not all of them because I am only close to some. I was hoping things would resolve before then. Worst case, you set aside differences at things like weddings, right? I completely did not expect my mom to act this way. Likewise, my mom thought I should value her comfort for one day over my relationship with other family members. I am just at a loss. My significant other and I planned and paid for the wedding ourselves. Yeah. We got married in May of 2022. A few weeks before my wedding, my sister called me out of the blue to let me know she wouldn't be at the wedding, but wished me well. This ended up being a crazy phone call where my sister accused me of completely ridiculous things, called me rude names, and we ended up screaming at each other all over my mom. All because of my mom's family fighting that both me and my sister are not involved with in any way. My mom seemed to have unloaded a lot of unspoken frustration to my sister, all the family drama now having to be in the same room with those people. She also embellished/lied about a lot of random things regarding me. When on the phone, my sister was under some impression that my mom invested in my wedding. She had not. My sister felt I was intentionally subjecting my mom to pain and suffering by exposing her to her own siblings, as if I didn't know my uncle aunt cousins at all. I had no malicious intent. They had been invited months before things escalated. My mom and some of her siblings are fighting about my late grandpa's estate. It's a long story, but it's ultimately none of my business. They all have a lawyer about it now. I know enough to know that my mom is being petty and unwilling to compromise, and it's driven people crazy. So, on the phone, I tried finding some common ground with my sister, but she was literally disgusted with me. A lot of what she said, too, about me on this call was pretty awful. We have never even had a disagreement as adults, and now I was on the most vicious fight ever. I better understand how people go no contact with their family. So in the end, my mom and sister did not attend my wedding because she didn't want to face people, i.e. her own siblings. Oh my gosh. We haven't spoke much since the wedding, which has now been 6+ months. It's been bizarre to suddenly have such a poor relationship with my mom. I didn't realize our whole bond was this fragile. My mom feels I should, as her daughter, fight her fights. I'm not that kind of person. I won't hate people just because she does. She feels betrayed by this. For someone who is all about family, I didn't expect this would be the hill she'd die on. She's always been one of those people who prides themselves so much on being a mom, but she was MIA a lot for me, and this is just per the course, I suppose, or par the course. I don't know what that phrase is. Part of the course makes sense. Sometimes I'm struck by how I haven't heard from my mom in so long. It was just a misunderstanding, bad communication, emotions running high, right? Then I realized that my mom and sister have not reached out to me at all in 6 months. I've messaged them. They have unfriended me on social media.
Wow.
I'm just at a loss. Most days I shrug it off, but some days it just makes me feel sad. We were never that close. I've been rejected by my own mom.
Oh my gosh, that's just heartbreaking.
So heartbreaking.
And I get it. I had a family member that didn't come to the wedding.
Really?
And yeah, and so it is hard and
because of some sort of dynamic with another family member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so while it was unfortunate, I think it was definitely for the best. And so at the end of the day, while it is sad, what helped me get through it was that it was never a reflection of me. It was their decision to walk away. They have that decision to live with, and that's on them. It's your day, period. So you need to have, I agree with her in that you need to have people there that you are close with, who support you. And that's something too, I feel like weddings just heighten emotions and issues. And I mean, I've had friends that like were a part of my wedding where I thought nothing would break us. And out of nowhere, it's just, unfortunately, you just don't talk to them anymore.
Wow.
And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm like, I don't know. Something about weddings does bring out all of those different dynamics that no one really will address or talk about.
Yeah.
And so it's hard.
I don't really know what it is about weddings that is such a trigger for people to feel like they have a sense of entitlement.
Yes.
You
they
know?
think it's their day. And it's like you have the people in your life that are going to put whatever they have going on aside to be there for you.
Yeah.
And period. That's it. And I will take nothing else. Like it's not worth it. The amount of stress and the fact that she was dealing with this like 2 weeks before her wedding.
I know.
Oh my gosh, like mine occurred like 4 to 6 weeks before the wedding, which is still pretty close.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But 2 weeks before, like that should be the last thing on your mind. And it's like people need to take a hint or context or something in that. Like,
like mom should be asking, how can I help right now? Not, why did you invite Susie Lou and Bobby Boo? And, like.
And it's like, who cares?
Yeah, like you don't have to sit
day.
next to them at dinner. Like you don't have to even look them in the eye, mom.
No, like that's the thing. On wedding day, it's so busy. Like there's so many people there. You don't have to talk to them. Like just, again, like put it aside and be there. So when you think people that will put it aside don't, it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
And my heart goes out to her, but it's like, just stay true to yourself. Life's too short. Have the people who are going to be there for you there, and just try your best, because I know it's so hard and you want to take it personal, but just try your very best to just let it go and accept it. And it's so hard. And
it breaks my heart that she says that all of this is stemming from like an estate issue. Like it sounds like their parent passed away and now all the siblings are being torn apart over their will. And I feel like that funerals and weddings, this is what a Bridal Babe sent me once. Funerals and weddings bring out the worst in people.
Yes.
And
it's so true.
And it's both of them right here causing, you know, and maybe the mom is going through a lot of crazy grief right now where she's not thinking straight. She's probably, you know, she might be emotionally still fighting. Maybe she's on her dad's side and her siblings aren't, or, you know, who knows what's going on, but she might have a lot of emotional healing to do, and she might not be ready to be around those siblings.
And that's it. And so it's like, while the timing is incredibly unfortunate, it's almost like if she gets to a point after the wedding where she wants to talk about it, you can only control yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what you can do in terms of, if you want to talk to her about this, if you want a relationship, like, you have the power in all of this and what you want. Same thing through wedding planning. Like, you can only control yourself. So if they're going to make that decision because they are clouded by other factors, it sucks. Like, it's just so unfortunate with the timing, but it's also like you can't control how they're going to react, and all you can do is focus on you and your partner and the decisions that are best for you all on your wedding day.
The wise words from Jimmi.
Thank you. Oh gosh.
And it's crazy that it has been, I mean, what is it now? I don't see an update. This was this week that they posted this, but it's been 6 months from their wedding.
That's so
it's just
sad.
It's so heartbreaking that they still haven't heard anything. Like, I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast yet, because I'm like, we're figuring out the order of podcast release.
Yeah.
But I do have a family member who, right after I got engaged, like a month after, reached out to me and let me know that they did not support me getting married to Jackson. And they went off on all of these like wild, like, there was no grounding to these claims they were making. They were just like out there. And so I've had to make the decision not to have this person at my wedding. And it's hard for my other family members to understand, but I have to make that decision for myself and for my partner. And that has been one of the hardest things I've had to deal with in my wedding planning process.
Oh my gosh. And that's the thing too. You're not only making this decision between the two of you and the person that you're coming to this decision with, but also other people and how other people will feel and react. And especially when it is family, that can be a hard line to want to cross and everything. But I just commend you on putting up your boundaries. That is essential on wedding day and sticking to it. And the real family and friends will understand and put their opinions aside.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and you know, like, so I'm just excited to have the people who love both of us there on that day and are excited to celebrate us coming together and the growth that we've gone through in our almost 7 years of dating, you know?
Gosh, yes. And I love what you said there, and that support both of us. Yeah. That is essential too. Like, your wedding day, it should just be a day full of joy. You shouldn't have to have in the back of your head these dynamics and what will happen. So yes, love that.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but even if this person decides, okay, you know what, I love you, I'll support you. I don't care. Like, you're still not invited, because I don't need that lingering in the back of my head. It's just too raw at this point. Like, So moving on from my own traumas. Let's see. Okay, so the top comment, and this has a yellow square, which means like it has a bunch of awards. A lot of people, it's got 2,000 upvotes on this comment. So a lot of people are like, thumbs up.
Wow.
So they said her sense of entitlement and her need to have the world revolve around her was more important than her own child.
Yeah.
At the heart of it, that is what this is. She dragged your sister into it via manipulations, which we didn't even talk about the sister being dragged into.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Like, sister needs to make her own decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree. Like, again, don't let family members' opinions. Oh gosh. Yep.
Okay. So she dragged her sister into it via manipulations and lies just to have one person on her side at the end. Wah, wah, because she knew everyone else had just about enough of her. And that you were strong and smart and not easily cowed. Code? COWED. I'm not good at English.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a UK thing.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going with that.
Yep.
Cowed. Yeah. Not easily cowed by her
has to be a UK thing.
ridiculously selfish demands. In the end, it's not much of a loss. What are you missing? what you are missing is the idea of having a loving, doting mother than you could trust and have a healthy relationship with.
And that is something too, is like, I was one of my fears of, will it be very prominent in my head or noticeable throughout the day? Honestly, it wasn't. I mean, there were like maybe 2 little moments where it was like a little blip, like, oh yeah, so-and-so isn't here. But overall, it's not.
It's not the most important thing.
It's not, because the most important thing is being with your person.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm like, I'm in this phase of like, you can't steal my joy anymore. Like,
yes.
Bye.
Oh, and that is crucial in life and in wedding planning. Yes. Don't let anyone, this is supposed to be a joyous occasion. Don't let anyone steal your joy, because I promise you it's not worth it.
This comment is really long and I just don't even want to get into it. So we're going to move on. I am so over this topic. I can't talk about it.
Yes. I feel like we added enough to the comment.
Yes. I think we said what we needed to say.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay. So this one is like barely even a post. It's more a picture than a thread.
Okay.
So it's from the wedding subreddit. It's called Vent PSA. If you're a wedding guest, this isn't cool. Info and comments. And it shows a picture of the RSVP card, and it has an X next to will attend, and then it says number of persons 7.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I wanted to bring this up, and I'll show this to you guys via, editing.
Yes.
On YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, you're not gonna be able to see the picture, obviously.
Yeah, so go follow and watch.
Go subscribe on our YouTube channel. Okay, so basically, I wanted to talk about this whole like, how do you get people to understand how many RSVPs they get, blah, 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 blah. So give me your 2 cents on that.
Great question, because that was something I was so picky about, because I have a lot of married and engaged friends. My husband had a lot of like single friends. And so we were first off, be picky on the criteria for these people, say, and have it be the baseline for you. Like, now you don't have to tell someone you've only been dating for 2.5 years, you can't come because our limit is 3.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. But have it in the back of your head when you are deciding who gets +1s. That's super important. Then I say right from the get-go, already be planting it in their head. So us personally, we did email invites. And so I would put the 2 names of those people specifically. So I'd be like, Kat and Jackson.
Yeah.
You're both obviously invited. We would have I had some theater family friends who came. And so I was very close with one of their children, but then the other 2, not so much. Like, I knew them, but I'm like, you don't need to be at my wedding.
Yeah, like, so sorry. Like, love you, but...
Yeah, but no. And so, same for that. I would say X, Y, and Z. And so that kind of helped already. And then on my wedding website, I put in the Q&A. Only designated people on the invitations are invited to the wedding. Now, I also, with the help of one of my husband's friends who's in coding, I made an RSVP on my website, and same thing. It would only, once you typed your name in, it would then say you have 2 invites. And then it would have the names of both those people, and you could click will attend or will not. So then they had no other way of writing in somebody, because it is so disrespectful. Like, weddings are so expensive, and it's your day. Like we said, you're being selective on the close people you want there. So if you're just going to write in people, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
And so that was what I found was the best way, is just kind of always reinforcing it and putting it in subtly.
Yeah.
That helped a lot. Now, so we did have some people who we initially didn't give a +1, who then said, hey, is it okay? And I mean, we would then, by that point, we had enough RSVPs that we're like, okay, we know you, we have some left over, sure, you can come. But I just, be very proactive and direct about it all. And that helps a lot, because, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know what goes through somebody's mind unless it says, to you and your whole family on the invitation.
Yes.
I don't know why anyone would assume that it's just tell me how many people you're bringing. Up to you.
Oh my gosh.
13? Sure.
Like, what? And so that was something, I mean, hey, if you want to do paper invites, I totally respect it. But that was something that I really liked, and that I had control of it. I used paperless post for my invites.
Cute.
And, oh my gosh, it's so helpful.
Yes, I did that for my engagement party. That was so cute.
It's so easy. And so that way too, you can track, you can message people. So if we had one person, I think, write in their grandson. And so we're like, yes, of course we have room. But if someone had come in and been 7 more people, I would have been
all
excuse
my
me? No.
Yeah.
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 So I think that digitally helped a lot because
Yeah.
we could interact with them quickly and put the brakes on it.
And kind of like what you did digitally is what this person is saying to do is basically, I was afraid of something like this happening for upcoming weddings. So in the RSVP cards, I put something like, we have reserved 2 seats for you. Please indicate how many will be attending. I've also seen people put blank of 2 guests, you know, like they'll put blank of blank and then they'll manually write in like 2 or 4, because I do have some people that I'm inviting their whole family. All your kids can come.
Yes.
And they will have maybe 7 people, 6 people
Oh,
that are coming with their group, but not everybody should be allowed that many. So I think it's just important to make sure the wording is as direct as possible. I've also been seeing this with like guest attire dress codes where things are like daytime formal, garden, whimsical, eclectic, and it's like excuse me,
what is that?
What department store do I go to?
Yes.
Like, just tell me formal.
Yes.
Tell me semi-formal. Like, and then there's like dress to impress, which go off. Like, you can wear anything except for white.
Oh my
Unless they
gosh.
say.
Yes, exactly. Like, no, do not. That was something I put on my Q&A too. I was like, yeah, don't wear white. Or
In case you're
not Q&A,
wondering.
your FAQ. Oh my gosh. FAQ section.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
But yes, like I was so descriptive. And then I had a lot of people too where everyone has their own definition of formal, semi-formal, cocktail. So I had a lot of people that would ask me questions. And I had one bridesmaid, the sweetest girl in the world. Her boyfriend was coming with her. And I had that strict don't wear white rule. Well, she was like, he wants to wear a white dress shirt. Is that okay? I'm like, okay, yes. I'm talking about the girl that's going to roll up in like the white satin cocktail dress.
Yeah.
No, honey, don't do that. And I'm like, yes, of course wear a white dress shirt.
Like some men don't have anything but a white dress shirt.
Exactly. I'm like, JJ's going to be in white. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And so, yes, like, definitely be open to those questions and giving specifics. Like, either put that on your website, because so many people are like, do I have to wear like a ball gown? I'm like, no, just like below your knee. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I will tell you also on the day, it's like, you're just so happy and it goes so fast. So it's like, whatever. Okay, you did that. It's something we can laugh about years from now.
You're not like, wow, it's black tie and you're wearing a midi.
Yeah, like, okay. It's definitely something to like look back on and laugh.
Yeah.
But definitely be proactive if it is important to you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually on that topic, we have a story that I found on Reddit that is just perfect to piggyback off of that.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's from the wedding subreddit, and it's unpopular opinion. I'm a bride and getting annoyed with the amount of "can I wear this" texts I'm getting. My wedding is this Saturday, and I am now starting to get an influx of "can I wear this" type of texts from our guests. And at this point, I just leave them unread. Honestly, all of those outfits are fine, and I appreciate them being considerate, but I have way more stuff to care about than the guests' outfits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Because that's it too. It's like, I would honestly at that point just start sending my FAQ.
Yeah.
Now I'm confusing myself. My FAQs in my website. I would just start sending that to them.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no. Oh, my matron of honor was amazing too. And she was like, if you get any questions, forward them to me. Like, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I would say is like have a designated person on the website too, where it's like, this is the phone number to text.
Yes, like
Not
I
me.
put exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because I put my wedding coordinator.
Nice.
I was like, if you have any day of questions, please refer to so and so here.
Yeah.
Because that's it. It's like, I'm not going to answer your text. Like,
But people still texted you.
I honestly didn't get too many texts that day, which was
good.
great.
And you made it very clear on your website what the dress code was. So I'm
Very
hoping that
clear.
helped reduce the amount of influx you got.
Yes, and I think because we had so many out of town people coming in, like they were planning far ahead, so I got those texts like a week or 2 out, and so that helped a lot too. But yeah, just be clear from the start on your wedding website. Give as much detail as possible, and yeah, that's one thing. Is like, okay, I'm happy that you're asking questions, but that's annoying. Like,
Yeah.
stop. And so I mean,
Like, don't.
literally,
Yeah.
like we were on my way to my rehearsal, and my family members are asking me questions that are so basic, and I was like, no, and I literally said, I don't have time. I don't have time to talk to you. Ask so and so.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
So
have
sorry,
a
I'm busy.
bridesmaid who's just knowledgeable and just be like, talk to her. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so they're referring to the fact that a lot of people on this subreddit tell people who ask about guest outfits to ask the bride. So they're saying blame the members here who tell people to ask the bride all the time. No grown adult should have to ask the bride what to wear. Savage.
That is savage. I would say ask the groom, but he may also not be aware. So I'm like,
Yeah.
either get him in on the loop and say just ask him, or get a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When people ask my groom questions, it just turns into him asking me, and so
And then it's more work. So yeah, just ask a bridesmaid.
They're
Yeah. Or
ask
just
the maid
send
of
them
honor,
the
ask the
link.
planner, maybe even the mother of the bride has some answers.
Yes, or just simply send them the link. So you're like, look here.
I'm like, Siri, is there an auto response offer for iMessage that you can give me?
That
Like,
needs to be a thing.
for real. So my bachelorette party is right around the corner, and I was starting to get very overwhelmed with all the outfit ideas, the decor ideas, everything that goes into planning a amazing bachelorette party weekend. And that is why I'm so glad that I remembered about the batch box. Batch boxes can be sent straight to your bachelorette party's door, and they're full of fun decor, accessories for you and your bridesmaids, and all the little knickknacks you need to make your batch party unique. The batch box has super fun themed boxes already ready for you to order, like the Let's Get Nasty box or the You Can't Sip With Us box. I love it. Or you can go ahead and let them know what your custom theme idea is, and they will fill your box full of all the things you need for you and 4 of your besties to have the time of your life on your bachelorette weekend. If you have more than that, you can always order 2. And that's why I'm so excited that they're going to be offering all of you Bridal Babes 10% off with the code BatchBox10. So head to thebatchbox.com and explore all of the fun batch boxes that you can get for your bachelorette party. They also have a bunch of fun extra goodies that you can add on, like decor items and accessories for your crew, in case you're not looking to get a whole box. But you can still use that code BatchBox10 at thebatchbox.com for 10% off of your purchase. So head there today to get something fun for your bachelorette party. Okay, so this is our last story.
Okay.
This one is like crazy, and
Oh
I
my
could not
gosh.
imagine being in this situation.
I'm intrigued. Okay.
So it's from it's from the wedding subreddit.
Okay.
The title is "Videographer Tells Us Our Wedding Footage is Lost."
My heart literally just dropped.
Jimmy just grabbed her couch.
I did. Oh my God.
Okay, so OP goes, I just need to vent and maybe get opinions from others in the same wedding/post-wedding headspace. We paid $6,042 to a highly reputable videography company that specializes in weddings in the DC metro area. We paid for 2 photographers and 1 videographer. They already sent us 800 plus beautiful, high-quality images from our day, but today we received the following email from them. It is with the utmost regret that we have to tell you of a failure of equipment that led to the loss of your 3-minute highlight wedding video. While this is fully out of our control, we totally understand how unacceptable it is, and we are trying our best to make up for it. Quite frankly, this hasn't happened in our 8 years of business. The files produced in camera were corrupted, and we have tried everything, including sending out to SanDisk, which is the company that does the memory cards, recovery specialists to recover, with no luck. Ugh.
Oh my
To
gosh.
hopefully make amends, we're hoping to offer you the following: a refund for the wedding video portion of your contract, a 10x10 legacy album featuring your beautiful wedding photos, optional video reshoot that would consist of letter readings, and a bride and groom session with hair and makeup and florals, all paid for by company. That's actually pretty
That's
gracious.
really nice. Yeah.
They have already refunded us the $2,332 for the video's value. I am already planning on asking my wedding guests to send me any videos they took from our day. I am just devastated, though. Sad face.
Oh my
Has
gosh.
anyone else ever been in this situation? What did you do? Before anyone suggests it, the contract we signed states the company is not liable for situations like this.
Oh, the way that my jaw was on the floor the entire time you
Yeah.
read that, because that was something so crucial to me.
The video.
Oh my gosh.
Especially like being a social media person and TikTok, like you have to have that video.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. And so with that and my photos, like I've always loved photos too. I'm very much like that helps me like just capture all the memories.
Yeah, like because you blacked out and
I literally blacked
Yeah.
out. No, not from what you think, just
Yeah.
memory wise.
Yeah.
But it just goes so fast and it's so special. And like I said, that was one of the crucial things that got me through those post wedding blues. And you want them, of course.
Yeah.
That was one thing in that was my question in my consultation with these photographers and videographers is, what do you do? Like, what is your backup plan?
Yeah.
That is so important. Like my photographers, like I have like several USBs. I bring like 6 cameras with me on the day just in case. Like 'cause
There's
you never
backups of the
know.
backups.
Literally. And like that's such a huge investment. And our videographer was relatively new and absolutely incredible. So that was like wonderful to have, but it's the most terrifying thing because that, especially with videos, like you can't get that back.
Yeah, no.
And I am impressed by what they want to do to try to make up for it, but that is something to me, like if that happened, oh my gosh.
Like nothing could make up for the real video.
No,
Yeah,
yes.
that's so sad.
And at the end of the day, it's like there's only, like I said, you can ask what their backup plan is. That is why I seriously recommend having, like, I mean, while it's helped my TikTok a lot, and that's primarily the use for it, was for social media, but having someone that will just literally capture everything of the day, so helpful. I had one of my bridesmaid who did it for me. She even went through like the whole reception area and got videos of everything.
Aww.
And so I could look through it. So definitely have that at least. So if, oh, I hope that never happens to anyone else.
Yeah.
But if it does, you have at least something. And
Yes.
very smart of her to ask guests and family and friends because they, you know, like they're taking videos on that day.
Even if it was a phone-free wedding ceremony, you know grandma was in the back going like this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. The amount of older people that made comments on like the unplugged ceremony to me was so funny.
What were they saying?
They were just like, oh, yeah, I couldn't have my phone. I'm like, no, you couldn't.
Yeah, you couldn't. That's what unplugged means, Tina.
And they're like, yeah, that's really smart. I'm like, well, then why did you mock it? And so, but I mean, luckily, as far as I know, no one had their phones out, which was so great.
That's good.
But it's so funny how like they were the ones that were like, oh, you had unplugged. I'm like, for a reason.
Right? You'd think it'd be like
Yes.
the TikTok savvy kids, but it's,
Yes.
it's the abuelas and the tias out there.
Oh my gosh, yes. But oh, my heart just breaks for her. That is devastating.
And like, I don't know if it's like, I guess I would go through with they're basically putting on a styled shoot for her, you know, like a fake kind of wedding setup. I feel like I would go through with it just to have something.
Same.
But it's just so hard. Like I said, like nothing can replace the actual day where you see the energy, you know? Like,
and then you feel like we recently got our wedding video back. And oh my gosh, you relive the entire thing. And like I said, I blacked out because it was so fast.
Yeah.
There were moments like my sister put my shoes on for me and we had this cute little moment. And I was like, I would never have remembered that if I didn't have this video. What I will say that was nice and putting a special request in, asking them now, my videographer is relatively new, and so he was like, yeah, sure. But what I asked is I just wanted full footage of my ceremony. I wanted the whole thing from start to finish. I wanted all the speeches because we had like 4 to 5 speeches. I love it. I would not take any of them back. But through our 4-minute video, you cannot watch my parents' 7-minute speech. So it's like, it's nice to ask if they'll at least give that to you.
Yeah.
And so like he's editing it. It'll take like another like month or so. But that is something too that's nice to ask for.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, and I will say like at least it was really powerful for us to have like our vows being spoken through these different like footage of us, and maybe even asking parts of your wedding party or your family like, hey, will you get dolled up with me again and be a part of this video?
Yeah,
that,
if anyone's
that can maybe
available,
help.
like maybe a maid of honor or parents to come out, and gosh, it's just like, I can't imagine the energy that they're gonna have to put out to just do this, you know,
and like relive the whole day.
Exactly.
And I would try my best if that happened to like try to just make it as fun as possible because like I said, I don't know how I would go through it. I'd be so devastated.
I feel like I would I'd be like, look, we can read our vows again, but I want to wear like a fun outfit.
Yes.
I want to be like at an arcade,
yes, like
at
wedding 2.0.
Yeah, like at a roller rink, like something really fun, and just like, oops, our wedding video got ruined, but we still love each other, and here we are at a roller rink having a good time.
Even make it fun. Like I know people are doing like office style wedding videos, be like, yeah, so our video got messed up, so we're doing this now, and then making it a cool little remix or something.
Yeah,
I agree. I feel like you have to try your best to make the most out of that situation because that is just so hard.
And I just can't even imagine what is going through these videographers' heads right now, like the pain and the pressure they must be feeling.
Oh my god.
But I'm also questioning, like, how did the original files get corrupted? Why did you not have why were you able to make the highlight video with corrupted files that are now unrecoverable? I'm really confused at the situation at hand, and I feel like somebody at that studio missed a step, and it's really unfortunate that happened.
It is very fishy because that was something I asked my photographer and videographer too, was what is your editing process like? What is your backup process like? Because it's like that seems odd that you were able to edit this whole video from a whole day worth of footage and just something happened.
Yeah, and now you're saying the original files are like compromised? I don't understand.
I don't either. Yeah,
Not computing.
I agree. That's fishy.
So I think I would actually have I would still go through with this styled shoot, but it would be weird for me to be like around that videographer.
Yes.
I feel like I would just be like questioning everything they were doing and slow to trust for
Agreed.
sure.
Honestly, I probably, before I actually made a final decision, I would probably ask other videographers in the area, explain the situation, see if they'll do it for a discount. Like, hey, I don't need a whole day. I just need a little styled shoot to just have something of the day. Because, it would be incredibly hard to trust them again. And that's why it's so important to, you get excited and you want to rush into making these decisions and you find good deals with vendors, but you really need to do your research and talk to multiple. Like, don't just talk to one. Like, make sure you really vibe with them, because especially on that day, you are constantly with your photographer and videographer. Yeah. And you want to make sure they get along. Oh my gosh, there's so many things.
And like I've definitely told people, make sure you vibe with your photographer and videographer, not just like, oh, I love their aesthetic, because you have to connect emotionally with that person, or else you're not going to look comfortable in your photos.
And that's it. You have to be comfortable with them, because they're going to be like all up in your space and they're going to be constantly with you on that day. Like,
really intimate moments too. Like, you are going to be making out with your husband like inches away from this person. Are you going to be comfortable with that?
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. And honestly, this can be the start of a great relationship. Like, our photographer, Gabriella Wilson Photography, is the absolute angel on earth. And she was 6 months pregnant on our wedding day.
Shut up.
Freaking killed it.
What a queen.
She's the absolute best. Her photos are gorgeous. She edited them so fast. I can go on and on. So definitely go to her if you're in San Antonio. But with her, I want to go to her for all of our family shoots in the future. Wow. It can be a great way to establish someone like that.
Yes.
Because it is such an important day. I personally, shout out to all the photographers and videographers that do weddings, because it would be so much pressure and stress.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
Oh my gosh, because if you missed a moment, if anything happened, what happened with her. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'd be vomiting. I literally can't. I can't.
No, I can't. No. So I'm like, props to you guys, because that is insane. That's so incredible.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we end today's episode, I just have one question that was submitted to me. Ooh. And I wanted to talk to you about it instead of just responding by myself, because why not? And maybe other bridal babes out there relate to this. Yes. So someone wrote in and said, "Hi, I had a wedding question. What are your thoughts or research on feeding your vendors working your wedding? Thanks. Much appreciated."
Oh, great question. Right? Definitely feed them. And a lot of times too,
give the people food.
Give them food. That will help. I don't know if you saw, there was a viral post going around where someone didn't feed their photographer, so they just left and deleted all their photos.
Because it's probably in their contract that you have to feed them a hot meal too. It's specific. Like, do not just give your vendor team salad wraps, cold croissant sandwiches from the grocery store. Give them what your guests are eating.
Yes.
I'm wondering if there's a specific list of vendors that you should be thinking about feeding ahead of time.
Great question. So there's definitely, I found like a rule of thumb is if they're working 4+ hours on your wedding day, definitely feed them. Okay. And so what we did is we'd included them in our guest count. So when we had our final guest count, obviously include yourself. That was something so important. Include you and your groom.
Actually, I think I need to put that on.
Okay, good. Yeah, do that, because that was something I was like, wait, I definitely need to include myself.
Whoopsie.
But I think we fed 6 vendors on our day. So we fed our photographer and her assistant, coordinator and her assistant, the venue owner, our videographer, and our DJ, so 7.
Nice.
But yeah, we did a buffet, so that makes it so easy for them to just run on up and do it. I even had them seated at one of our guest tables, but my coordinator was like, no, we have a whole designated back room, so do ask. Sure? I know, and I'm like, you can eat out here. She's like, it's fine. And so ask your venue that too, is if they do have a designated space for them, just so you know, because I had no clue.
Yeah, because you don't want them eating in the corner of the kitchen or the prep room. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so sad.
I will say, in terms of your question of who should eat first, what I asked, because our coordinator actually released tables, and so what I asked was for our photographer to eat first. So I said, JJ and I, they brought it to us at our little sweetheart table, but so yeah, they just got to kind of sneak away. So I said, once the coordinators are done, go and do all of that. Yeah. But that way too, that gives the photographer, I would probably do the videographer too, that gives them time to set up for toast or whatever else you're going to do.
And then actually allows them to get that content, because I see the least amount of how do I phrase this? I'm like, the pictures I see the least of from weddings are the food that is served.
Yes.
Because the photographer has to eat. And so I think having the photographer eat first at least allows for maybe some time to catch some pictures of food on plates, or I don't know, like, yeah.
So what we did is she was like really close to our table when they brought it to us, because they kind of gave her the plan of, hey, we're going to give them this. It was really cute. They actually put all of our cocktail hour food like scattered on our table. We did, because I'm Canadian, so we had little bags of cheesies, that's a Canadian snack, little Canadian chocolate bars for our guests during cocktail hour. So they had that there, but that was it. She was just immediately could take a quick shot of our meals, and then she could go and eat. And it, because love you, but I don't want to see pictures of you eating, videos of you eating. So that was, I think, super helpful, and getting enough times. So let her know, say, hey, I want you to get a video of me doing this or a picture of this, and then you go eat, because they're tired. Like, it's a busy day. They're there all day, so you definitely feed them.
Yeah, your photographer's there for like 10, 12 hours sometimes. So
yes. Oh, yeah.
Give them a break. Give them some food for sure.
And feed them what you're eating. Like, it's great food. Good food. Give them good food.
Not just a bag of Chex Mix. Like, they deserve to eat what you're eating.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't believe that's it.
I know, it went so fast. That was so fun.
So if Bridal Babes want to find more from you, tell them how to.
Great question. Okay, so definitely follow me at Jimmi the Bride on TikTok for any wedding tips, any wedding stories, anything wedding, post-wedding. I'm here for you. I was huge in wedding DIY, so if you have any questions about that, I got you. I also opened my own Etsy shop called Jimmi's Creations, and it's all my wedding templates you can find on there, which is super easy to use. I have my Amazon storefront if you're looking for any products that I used during my wedding planning as well. So yeah, super exciting. You can find me anywhere.
Cool. And we'll do our best to put that in the description as well.
And of course, if you have any questions, I'm on Instagram as well, Jimmi.Valdez. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help answer them for you too.
Yeah, you've had a lot of wisdom to throw out here today, so I'm really grateful. Thanks for coming in.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yeah, okay. Well, Bridal Babes, that's it for today's episode. Don't forget, the buzz doesn't have to stop here. We release episodes every week on your favorite streaming platform and on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and leave us a review. I would really love to hear from you guys on what you think, how we can, improve, or if you just think we are the bee's knees, we would love to hear that as well. So... Oh, yeah, and I'm Kat. I don't know if I said that at the beginning of the episode because I'm rephrasing my intro, so I keep forgetting to be like, and I'm your host, Kat. So, and I'm your host, Kat. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, bye.